Here we fucking go. Oh my God.
Before you watch this exclusive interview with Andrew Tate, there are a few things you need to know. Andrew is taking a massive risk agreeing to do this 5-hour and 20-minute interview because he is still under house arrest and under investigation, which means anything he says can and will be held against him. Now,
wow.
What did we talk about in this interview?
I didn't know that. I thought they decided to release this in accordance with the, with the court. Like the court already made a decision, but that's crazy. So that just goes to show how confident he is that he's standing in the truth. We all know that he's standing in the truth, and we all know the truth is going to prevail. I think honestly though, this is just going to solidify the fact that all of his haters are liars and frauds, and because every single time he gets to talk, that's just what becomes apparent to anyone that listens. But the thing is we all knew that before, and it didn't matter before. But it's mattering more and more now because the truth will win out.
They could do this to you. They could do this to anyone. They could do it to you or me or any man watching this. Any man watching this. I wake up instinctually at 5 a.m.
Because that's doing it to Trump right now, dude. all these fake news propaganda organizations with the Pride logo, in the background, are like, Trump's getting accused of another crime, so he must be a bad person, right? We can label him a bad person because surely you're gonna care about this label. As a matter of fact, no. Trump's at an all-time high in terms of popularity. Yeah, get destroyed. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna say it. It's true, and that's what's going on in the world right now. And we can see these patterns very clearly.
On Twitter, you're upwards of 7 million today. Yeah. Every other account's taken down. I think even Tristan was taken down off of Instagram. Yeah. And then, the arrest count.
We have to get rid of these hateful pictures of him posing with his Jaguar. Holy fuck, dude. It's so misogynistic. He's like standing next to an expensive car.
The lover boy.
That's how much they're willing to go to war with masculinity. That's how much they want to ruin your life. They don't want you to have actual role models to look up to. They want you to wear dresses, put on lipstick, and cut off your genitals. That's what they want.
All these articles, and Vice releases the hit piece on you guys. They're saying what they're saying, and I'm sure we're gonna get some
Vice, the DNG saga. Holy shit.
Comments on that. Yep. The initial 30-day lockup was extended twice, 92 days in the dungeon. Yep. We had a chance to speak with one of your lawyers, Tina Glandian, on February 24th. It was a great conversation we had with her. Then eventually you're released. You and your brother come out and you specifically make it clear that you did 7,417 push-ups. Correct. Very impressive. You received letters from thousands of fans. You read the Quran on a daily basis. Yep. At no point was any charges, anything official charge. It was all allegedly.
So insane, man. That's so insane. All I can really think when I hear that is how much the radicals are willing to admit they're corrupt. Because when you say that he was imprisoned for months with no charges, with no evidence, with no accusers, with no actual accusers, then and we know that there are no actual accusers because the two people that did came forward were proven with phone records to be conspiring and making it up, then you have to ask yourself, how are they so unafraid about looking like fools, like looking like complete frauds? And the answer is they're willing to undergo that hypothetical risk because they've given up their identity. That's what it is. They've given up their identity. I was going to say brainwashed, but it's far beyond brainwashing because what happened with tyrannical situations where people did horrible things. It wasn't brainwashing per se. They gave up their identity. That's what they did. And these people who demonize Tate and despite objective reality have given up their identity in order to appear this foolish. And so they're not playing the same game as you and I. They're not playing the same game as people that say 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah. And while you were away, a new star was born, Dylan Mulvaney, which I'm sure you're familiar with. From there on, a lot of comments were made. Comments of people that supported you, comments of people that didn't support you. Yeah. Logan Paul said by 2023, he will not have a sliver of relevance, is what he said. KSI said Andrew Tate.
Get wrecked and destroyed. Agent Paul, you fucking Matrix cock. Oh my God, fucking. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
That's Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Piers Morgan, who originally, when he went on, it was very combative.
Correct.
It was a very
Piers
good
Morgan got destroyed and obliterated by the comments. I'm so glad.
interview, entertaining.
Isn't
but
it weird that all these people are as if they're told by someone. It's like they get a call from someone. It's not an actual person, but it's like they get a call from an actual person saying, you need to lie, be dishonest, be corrupt, and act as though you're better than him for no reason. And then they do it, they get destroyed, and then you're left asking the question of who's telling them to do this? Why would they do this when they get destroyed by everyone? And the answer is the ideology of the radical left is telling them to act this way. It's telling them to operate in these terribly dishonest ways.
young girls looking up to Cardi B and the Kardashians, and obviously Aiden Ross, Red Pill community, Joe Rogan. I can go on and on and on about a lot of things that's being said. We watched the BBC interview, and we'll talk about BBC here in a minute because I have some questions on that.
Look at the difference between this and the BBC interview. I just want to say, look, dude, they got like these dope ass cigar boxes, and it's just a guy's atmosphere. They got the beers, dude. They're all sitting comfortably. There's not that weird animosity where the woman's sitting like this, like, I'm 43 years old and single, and you're literally at the top of the masculine hierarchy, and I resent you for it. Like, dude, there's none of that shit. You know, we're all uncomfortable when we see that. No one wants, like, that's not even an anti you want to be around, bro. That's like, okay, you're one step away from being like homeless. You know what I mean? At least it looks like that. So, see, this is so much better, and you can understand why the BBC is humiliated. They were humiliated before, but then this came out, and then okay, I mean. And you already know how they're going to spin it. I don't even know what they're going to say, though. Because can they really call PBD a white supremacist? They called Elon Musk a white supremacist, so fuck it. They'll call PBD a white supremacist, too. Okay, this guy is a misogynist because he's drinking beer and smoking cigars with Andrew Tate. He's a hateful person because he's not constantly and dishonestly trying to lie about Andrew at every turn. You know, oh, dude, I get so tired of the blatant dishonesty.
In the middle of the night when you can't sleep, sometimes you feel happy knowing what they're trying to do to you, and sometimes you feel terrified knowing what they're trying to do to you. I think I'm very happy every single podcast
They're so corrupt. They're so evil. We are fighting forces of evil. These people that pretend to be on the side of victims are really not on the side of victims. They're evil. There are no victims. The only victims are the people that are being demonized by this terrorism of the psyche, this terrorism of the psyche that is left-wing degeneracy, that tells people they have to be resentful, it tells people they have to be victims, they must adhere to left-wing agendas, they must adhere to group identity politics that demand that anyone who disagrees with them be demonized, and to the point where they get falsely imprisoned for months. And then we know what the threat is here. The left is so evil. They are so evil, and people have to understand what's going on, because if they don't, they are just sheep walking amongst wolves, not knowing what's going on. We got to adapt, guys.
crimes they did for me, and it's why they usually choose the crimes they choose, because it's heinous. They want to shame you, and they want you to disappear with your head facing the ground.
That's an amazing point. They make the accusations, the false accusations, heinous in proportion with people rejecting the counterfeit shame that they were throwing at people before. It used to be just enough to say, this person said a racist joke, or this person said something that we're going to label as bigoted. But now they have to say literal predator. It used to be just archetypal predator. It used to be this person is other, this person is unsafe, this person is a threat to the infantilized state of anyone that adheres to our ideology. That's how it archetypally stood before. But now they literally have to say these people are literally predators because they are losing their level, because they're losing that lever of counterfeit shame. So ask yourself then, what happens when even this doesn't work? This is why you have to understand, and this is why Tate has tweeted before, they're not just coming for him, they're coming for everyone, because what happens when that doesn't work, when their last thing doesn't work? There's nothing else they can call you. They've already used every other term. Nazi, they've used predator, they've used sex trafficker. There's nothing left. So as men continue to manifest reality and become impressive, and therefore shine light on the fact that these people are frauds, what do they have left to do? Read history, rounding people up, internment camps, cauterizing people's ability to access information. In the 1940s, it was burning books. This has happened numerous times, and you have to ask yourself where this is going. And it's just been going up. We saw this with Alex Jones, but we see this with every person going back to Trump in 2016 and even before that even. But this is very real.
Around and never pop up again. Obviously, they attempted to cancel me. I became more famous than ever before. I even said to you on your podcast, and I said on other podcasts, I said, I think they made a mistake. I think when you have power and you overuse it, what happens is a rebellion. That's how a revolution starts. When you have power, you have to be very, very careful.
And not only do you overuse it, but you diminish your power because people realize that you're frauds and you actually don't have the control that you purport to have. And when that happens, then they have really only one option as the tyrannical state that they are, which is to find new and deeper ways of being corrupt and tyrannical, which is exactly what they did. Okay, so, a misogynist isn't sticking, we have to call him a sex trafficker. Like, it is just a leveling up of the demonization as people reject the counterfeit shaming.
Counter to our narrative, get rid of it. And they have a pretty standardized playbook, and this is probably one of the first times in history where their playbook just isn't working. Cancel him. He's still around. Oh, well, lie about him in the news. Just say he touches chicks. Well, no one believes it. Oh, all the comments are on his side. Everyone's calling us liars. Okay, then do it again. Then do it again.
See, that's infuriating. That's humiliating for them, but it's also infuriating. It causes a deep anger. That deep anger is welling up from a place of you viewing them as frauds. That infuriates them to no end because their entire paradigm is built on sand that'll just disintegrate. It's built on a false paradigm, which is we are the good guys. And as soon as you realize that they're frauds, then it's like they've all of a sudden lied about 1,000 other things. And that is so embarrassing, to use a mild term. It is so humiliating for them that it turns to rage very quickly. And it turns to indignant, self-righteous rage, but is completely unjustified. And so it's one of the ugliest things that you can see, and the consequences of the excesses of compassion. Also, the excesses of communist ideology, technically speaking.
Make up a new girl, then do it again. Find someone else. Yeah. And they keep attacking me with the same weapons, but the bullets are bouncing off. And that doesn't give me a...
Right, because everyone that has a thinking mind that doesn't hate themselves, and that's 95% of people, is siding with Andrew Tate. They know that he's innocent. And the 5% that are lying also know that he's innocent. That's the thing. They're just playing a game of incoherent lies because they've already given up on their identity. They've already given up on their identity.
That doesn't make forces of evil whatever they were of the time. And you've always been outnumbered and you've always been supposed to lose.
So you consider yourself the good guy in this situation?
I think that truth is instilled by God in all of us. And I think if you tell the truth, you're a good person.
So who do you think is the bad guy? You know, everyone uses they, them, they're after me. Who's they? Who's the bad guy?
The spirit of Cain. The unfathomable resentment of left that is at the core of left-wing insanity. It possesses people, and it possesses some people to such an extent that these people are essentially indistinguishable from demons on earth.
Instead of saying who, I will say, what I will start by saying is what they do. And what they do is they control information. And we now live in an information society, and by controlling information, they control how people think and act and react to things. That's all they have to do. They have to control information, and they have to be very selective with what they allow you to talk about and what they allow you to discuss and what they don't. Now, once they can do that, they can keep you bickering about garbage, and they can control the sensitive information, and then they run the world. So, having all the information...
Bro, holy shit. I'm just thinking about all the people I know that are consumed, and they're so far from any type of realization about the world because they are controlled by what they see and what they read. And they've never been trained to see beyond that. It's like the movie The Matrix, where these people, in many ways, it's even more humiliating than The Matrix, though. Because in The Matrix, at least they're eating, steak and believing in a very elaborate world. These people are just believing stupid lies, like low IQ things that make no sense. They have no coherence. There's no There's no patterns that make logical sense. They just ask you to believe lie after lie after lie, and there's no reason to it. Put on a mask. Yeah, you have to take a mask on and off as you get up to go to the bathroom and eat. And people do it because they're brain damaged, because they're brain dead. And then they demonize the people that don't do it. Oh yeah, if you don't get the vaccine, you're a bad person. Oh, it turns out you get heart attacks from it. Well, you should get the vaccine or you're a bad person. Like their brains are destroyed. So I'm just thinking about what the outcome is for weak, pathetic men in the world. Is it that they just have destroyed society? Are all empires destined to fail as a result of human retardation, or can we achieve something greater? Can a small number of men save everyone?